guys, welcome back. Are you ready to do a super fun, really easy holiday craft for Thanksgiving? So this is a fun craft because it's not only just making something, but it's something you get to wear and you can kind of make it your own. And like I said, it's very, very, very easy. So you are going to need scissors, glue stick, a black marker or a black Sharpie, black crayon, anything that is black that we can draw with, whatever you have works. And you will also need our different paper. So like I said, we are making a turkey. It's a Thanksgiving headband. You can go ahead and click the link below to get the exact measurements of everything you will need. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. So here we go. We are going to be going ahead and we're going to be making a turkey headband that you get to wear. You can wear it at home, at school, wherever you're making it, and you can even adjust it to make it how you want. So I already told you do need something black. I'm going to be using a Sharpie, but if you don't have a Sharpie, you have crayons, colored pencil, marker, whatever you have, that works. You are going to need glue. I personally like using glue stick just because it dries faster. But again, whatever you have, you can make it work. Definitely going to need scissors. And we are also going to need all our pieces of paper. So you should have been able to get the paper we needed from the link below. So you know the sizes you need and how many of each. You guys can see I have my little turkey buddy sitting with us today. Like I've said before, I love Thanksgiving. It is my favorite holiday. So really quick, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you just quickly to make sure you have all the same pieces I have. They may be different colors, and that's fine because, again, it's art. We can all kind of have our own interpretation of it. So one thing you will need. So right now I know it doesn't look like a turkey or a headband. We are going to make that together. Are you ready? I will say there are going to be lots of little scraps and trash and lots of pieces to pick up along the way. Something cool about this project is you may want to use actually some of your scraps when we're done, even the little tiny pieces. It's up to you, but you may want to keep them. So I don't throw away as I go for this project, but you can. One thing you can do as we're going is, I don't have a table I can write on right now because it has a tablecloth. But if you have a table you can write on, like if you're at school, you can get a dry erase marker. And what you can do is you can kind of make a circle and you can put all your scraps in that circle. Sometimes when I'm doing projects and I have little pieces I need to keep safe, I do the same thing, and instead of putting trash in the circle, I put my pieces I need to keep there so I don't lose them. Because we all know that sometimes when we're cutting, there's lots of pieces, they get lost. I especially lose them all the time. So what we're going to start with first, I'm going to get my pieces for my headbands. Again, yours might be 2, that's okay if it is. You might already have yours put together. Also okay. I'm going to show you, if you haven't put it together, what you're going to do. I'm going to move this because we don't need it just yet. So I need this to go around my whole head because it's a headband. So that means it's going to wrap around my head. It's going to kind of be like a hat. It's going to be a very long piece when I connect it all. What I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I line these up, and I'm going to make it overlap a little, meaning they're going to each go over the other one. So I'm going to show you how to do this with a few different methods. One method is using a glue stick or glue. And I'm going to put about 2 or 3 fingers width of glue on this. Got it on my table, and it's fine. Do you see how I did that? And now what I'm going to do is, I'll actually put that down because it's easier to show you this way. I'm going to put another one of these over the top of that, line up my edges, and I'm going to press it down. Okay. So now I have an extra long piece. This might be enough to fit around your head. It will not fit around mine, and that's okay. So that's how to do it with glue. And you can see it. I'm pulling one end and it's moving. I'm going to show you another way if you don't want to use glue, or maybe you don't have glue. Maybe you have some tape. So you can do the same thing. I'm going to overlap it. Okay. And I'm going to actually scoot that down. So you're going to overlap it, and I'm going to put tape on this one side. You can see right there where it connects. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put it on the other side. I usually don't use tape just because you can see the tape. You could also roll your tape up if you've ever done that. So I take a little piece of tape. If you have double-sided tape, even better. But you can make it into like an O. See that? And so now it's sticky on both sides. And what you can do is stick it underneath and you won't see it. But this way, again, it's connected, it works. I personally, like I said, I'd rather use glue. The other thing that maybe you have, if you don't have tape or glue, maybe you have a stapler. So this one's really easy. I'm gonna actually just do it where I glued these two. I would put them over like I just did, and I'm going to slide it in. So my stapler, I have a tiny stapler. Underneath this metal part and between this plastic part, I'm gonna slide it in. And then making sure I'm on both pages, I'm going to press it down until I hear my click on mine. That's how I know mine works, because it always makes that click on this one. Sometimes you may not hear a sound. You just want to make sure you're pressing it down all the way, because if I don't, watch. So I did that. There's no staple. I pressed down, but I didn't hear that sound. So let's try again. I'm going to put it down. Oops, I got double on that one. But it also is very sturdy. I usually like to use the stapler to wrap it around at the end and measure it to make it my right size. So I've made this. I'm going to set this aside. This is going to be for when I am done with the next part. I will be measuring this to fit my head. So we will do that after we've done our turkey face and some feathers. Again, I already separated these so I know which one is going to what. Here's my circle from the pieces. I'm going to show you how to make these feathers. So right now we have all these different rectangles. You can decide how many feathers you want. Your feathers could all be the same color. Your feathers can be different colors than this. Your feathers could be different paper than this. All of this is just construction paper, but you can definitely use whatever kind of paper you want to use. You could do white feathers and decorate them. It's totally up to you. I'm going to show you now how we're going to make all these feathers. So I have one feather. They are pretty long, and that's because our turkey headband is going to be kind of silly. There's to be a little bit big, so that's okay. We are going to be, not drawing, we're going to be using our scissors to make this design. So in case you're wondering, a feather, usually, if you've ever looked at one up close, they usually don't look like this. Like, not all connected. They're individual. So a feather usually it goes pointed at one end. So they're kind of pointed. It's really big. And then as we get towards the top again, it's going to go back to a point. That's because it helps with the birds and how they fly, how they clean themselves. There's different reasons. So what we are going to do, we're not going to draw this out, but I'm going to show you how we're going to make our feathers pretty big, about this shape, and to make them actually look like a feather. So I want you guys to watch first, and then you're going to try. The cool thing is, once we do it on this one, you're going to notice we're going to do the same exact thing on the next ones. So I'm going to take the bottom of my rectangle. Do you see how my rectangle is nice and tall? I'm going to turn it. And are you ready? I'm going to cut off the triangle. Okay? I'm going to put that here because I might want it later. So now I have one triangle missing. I'm going to do it. Actually, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I'm going to leave like a finger space of flat. And if it's not perfect, guess what? It's fine. So mine, you can tell, are not even. Guess what? It's fine. Not the end of the world. So I've now made one side pointy. I'm going to go to the top part, and I'm actually going to flip it because I like it closer to me when I'm doing this. this part, do you see how I left on this one? I left an area that was the flat side. I don't want to do that on this side. So on this side, I want it to be completely pointed. So I'm going to go to where I think the middle is. Is this the exact middle? I have no idea. Is it close enough? Sure is. I'm going to do the same thing I did down there. I'm going to cut off a triangle. And I'm going to flip it over because it just makes more sense in my brain. You don't have to. I like to flip the paper. And I'm going to do same exact thing on the other side. Okay? And this side is going to be pointed. This side is flat, this side is pointed. So I also have all these extra scraps. Again, I may want that for later. I'm not sure yet, we will see. So right now, this kind of looks like a feather shape, pretty close. The only problem is that it is very pointed. It has hard edges. And feathers, if you've ever looked at them, they're very soft and they kind of are very flowy. So we want to actually make this so it's not as pointed looking, not as sharp looking. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Get ready, because we're going to have to go super duper up close for this. So I was saying, we can see how it's a sharp angle, right? Because it's very pointy. I don't want it to be pointy. And sometimes when we do this, like people will be like, oh, it's fine, I'll just cut it. And then what happens is we keep cutting and cutting and cutting, and our feather, instead of being this big, ends up this big. And so I'm going to show you the way that you can do it easy and still keep most of your stuff. Because once you cut, it's really hard to put it back together. So I'm going to start with this corner right here. And I am going to, are you ready? I always say I'm going to give it a little trim, meaning when I trim stuff, I'm not doing a huge cut. I'm just taking a little itty bitty bitty piece. So I'm going to do it, and it's so hard to tell because it's so tiny, like itty bitty. Are you ready? And I'm just going to cut that corner off. Okay. So it was so tiny that you couldn't even see it. This, see this itty bitty little piece of paper? That was how much I cut off. I just trimmed it right there. And now, put it on light so you can see. You see how this is a little bit more round than this? So I'm going to do that to this side as well. So again, take my scissors and I'm just going to basically cut that little corner off. I don't need to do a lot, so just cut it off. Again, that's all I cut off, not big. These were big chunks. This is my little trim. So if I look, it is more round, but you can see there kind of still is a little bit of a corner. So now that I did it, if you look, there are actually two corners. So I'm going to do the same thing I just did, and I'm going to trim off those corners. So I'm going to go just itty bitty trim, itty bitty trim. And it's starting to get more round. That one was more than an itty bitty trim. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do these two. So itty bitty trim, itty bitty trim. And it's getting rounder. So I actually don't mind this side. This side I think is pretty good. This side I think right here, there's two right there that I don't, they kind of still look hard or sharp to me. So I'm going to do same thing. And again, it's super, super tiny cuts. Like that's one of them right there. Can you see that? So I made them. They're a little bit round. I'm going to do it to my bottom ones as well. I'm not going to worry about this part because we're going to actually be covering that part. But we're going to do the same exact thing to this. So I'm going to go trim it, trim it, trim it. And you just keep going until you like how it looks. So on this one, do you guys see how much rounder this side is than this side? So all I'm doing is just taking these itty bitty little pieces of paper off, just giving my feather a trim. Sometimes I do a haircut, so that's the big one. Sometimes I just do a trim. Don't need a whole lot. Just want to make it a little bit softer looking. So I think I'm happy with my feather how it is. So now I'm going to be doing that to the rest of them. Again, you can keep the scraps if you want. It's up to you. I'll show you when we're done with this how you can add those. I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of my feathers. You can go ahead and do yours. Again, you may have less feathers than me. That's fine. It's up to you. Your feathers, you may want them a little bit more round. Also up to you. That is totally your choice. Go ahead and we're going to finish cutting these feathers. Let's go. So I went ahead and I have only just cut my big haircut pieces, the big chunks off, and now I'm going to go through and I'm going to be trimming all of them. I do want to show you guys that mine do not all look the same, and that's okay because in real life, guess what? Feathers do not all look the same always. So it's okay if they're all a little bit different. Don't worry about it. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be doing my little trims now. And when I'm done, I will show you what we can do with these scraps. All right, I have all my different feathers. Again, they all look different. It's fine. You can see here's all my little trims. Just took off a little. Here are all my big pieces. So something else we can do if you want to. Again, you do not have to. You could always add different decorations to your feathers. So maybe you want to add some orange to purple. You could do different ones. You could cut these down. You could leave them how they are. Add some designs. Completely up to you. But this is a way that we can actually reuse our scraps. Kind of give it more personality if you want. So you can add designs if you want to. You could also, if you want to, give your feathers some fringe. So all I'm doing is cutting little slits. Okay, so I kind of bend it a little, you can see. I'm not cutting all the way through, just make little tiny cuts, you see? And I could do it to the other side. Here's something though you need to make sure you're paying attention to. Do not connect your lines, because if you do, what will happen is you're going to cut off a big chunk of your feather. So just little cuts, and you don't want them to touch. I am going to throw mine away. So I have my little tiny trash can. Just so I don't knock over all the pieces. Okay, let's pull out our last section that we have to make, and then we're gonna assemble everything. All right, I have my square, I have this giant rectangle, I have a smaller rectangle, and an even smaller rectangle. This is going to be the turkey's face. Let's start out with our square. So you're probably thinking, I have not seen a square turkey face. I mean, actually, there might be one on Minecraft. I actually don't know. There's a good chance there is. I have no idea. But we want to make ours more realistic. We're not doing a Minecraft turkey. You want to do a Minecraft turkey and it has a square head? Go for it. That's fine. Sure. I'm going to make a round head turkey. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use this square. And I'm going to turn the square into a circle. And before you go, oh, I got this, I can do it, and you get your scissors and you start cutting, please stop and wait and watch to see what we're going to do. Just like how we made our feathers. Our feathers stayed the same size, basically. We just changed the shape a little bit. But I did not make it smaller or shorter. I'm going to do the same thing with my square. I don't want this to be super small. I want it to be big. So I need to make sure that I'm keeping most of this size, which is going to be tricky since I want to make it a circle. So I'm going to show you how. Are you ready? Again, Do not rush. I promise you, if you follow these steps, it's going to turn out pretty good. Get my scissors. My first step, I'm going to do like a haircut like we just did on our feathers. Ready? So we're going to do 4 corners. And I don't need huge ones. So I'm going to do 1, turn, 2, turn, 3, turn, 4, and if you notice, we're going to do what it kind of looks like, stop. So you should have the shape of a stop sign. If you don't, make sure you've cut off each corner and you should get this shape. Now we're going to do exactly what we did for our feathers, because this is not a circle. A circle is round. This has, ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points, which means it is not a circle, it is an octagon. We need to get rid of points so it turns into a circle. And to do that, we are going to do a little trim. I'm going to start just like I did before. Ready? We take our scissors, and again, we're doing just the tiniest little cut off. Look how tiny that is. And now this turned into 2 different points that are tinier. I like to go around and do each of my really sharp corners first, and then I make them a little bit softer or more round. Again, really tiny snip. Just trim, 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 trim. Here's all I cut off. Not very big. And now I have this. When I look at it, it looks a little bit more round, right? But still kind of pointy looking, not quite a circle. Not quite a hexagon either. So I'm going to choose one. And again, they're really, really tiny points. We are going to just do the same thing. Ready? Trim, turn, trim, trim, trim. We're going to just keep doing this all the way around. Here we go. Starting to look a little bit more round. I think I'm going to go around one more time. If you're okay with this, you can keep it like that. That's fine. It doesn't have to be totally round. So I'm going to go ahead and just do one more time, I think. And sometimes as I'm doing this, I notice that sometimes I don't even do all the little points. Like there's just some that I feel like need to be trimmed a little bit. I'm pretty happy with how mine looks. It's not a perfect circle, but it's pretty close. And as you guys can see, I literally kept all the pieces I cut off of that square. You can tell we did not cut off a lot. So my circle is actually pretty close to the same size as that square was. This is why I said it's very important to make sure that follow the directions and it will turn out how you want it to be. I'm going to set that part aside. Now we're going to take this. I have this large white rectangle. Before I am going to cut it, but before I cut it, what I'm going to do is I am going to fold it in half. Okay, so I line up my corners to corners, sides to sides, and then I'm going to fold. So now if you open it, it's folded, but I actually want to keep it folded, okay? Because I'm going to be making it into the eyeballs. And like you, turkeys do have 2 eyeballs. So instead of having to cut 2 different circles, I'm going to actually have it folded in half, and you're going to see how this right here is going to turn into 2 different eyeballs. We are going to follow the same exact pattern that we did. So we're going to be, again, only doing our corners as our big cuts and then just trimming from there. So it'll be good practice to try this same exact thing, just a smaller square. Are you ready? I'm going to actually clear this off. Okay, so here we go. We cut off corner. And again, I'm keeping this folded. Turn it, corner, turn it, corner, turn it, corner. And then I stop. Those were all my big cuts. No more big cuts after this. So now I'm going to go around and I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did on my big one. I'm going to trim all my sharp edges. So trim, trim, trim. So mine are actually still connected. See that? What we can do, there are two ways you can do this. You can either very carefully cut that, or mine, I'm hoping I can do it. I can just very gently hold and pull apart. Ta-da! So now I have my two eyes. Before I put my whole head together, I'm going to do my last bit. I told you it's going to be kind of a goofy turkey. So I'm going to take this. This is my large rectangle. And we are going to fold this one in half too. But we are not going to be making a circle this time. So I'm going to take it, and what you're going to do is hold it so it's nice, tall, and skinny. Do you see how it's tall and skinny? And I'm going to take the top part and fold it towards my belly. Okay, so fold it down towards your belly, and we're going to fold it in half, and I'm going to line up my corners like I did before, and then press down. Okay, see? So now, again, we can open it. Looks like a little book. So it should be folded in half. Okay, listen carefully. Take the side that's folded, so the side that does not open, and I want you to put it towards your belly, okay? So the open side is facing away from you. You're going to hold it like this. Make sure the folded side is towards your belly. It's facing you. Folded side does not open. Open side is away from you. With your scissors, we are going to make a triangle. It's important that the folded side is towards your belly. Ready? I'm going to start at this corner, and I'm going to go diagonal up to the middle of that paper. Okay? Mine, it's still connected. Otherwise, you might have two triangles. Okay? My folded side is still towards my belly. I'm going to just flip it over this way. So the side I cut is now my other side. So again, the folded edge, the one that does not open, is facing my belly. Open side is away from me still. Do the same exact thing on this side. Ready? Go to your corner, and you're going to go diagonal up. So now you might have 4 yellow rectangles, and you have, or sorry, triangles. Now you have one that opens. This is our mouth. The last thing I have is a red rectangle, and this is actually the gobble, the thing that hangs down on a turkey. So this one, it's usually long and it hangs. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start about a finger's width away from the edge, and I'm going to cut a straight line down. And then the cool thing about this one is you can kind of make it how you want. So it's usually has a really big part at the bottom. I think it's roundish, maybe more oval. And then it kind of goes back up and it gets skinnier again at the top, okay? So this is what mine looks like. Yours could look different. That's fine. Now we need to assemble. So go ahead, grab your glue stick. We are going to need it. And we're going to put this cute little turkey together. I'm going to start with where I want my beak to go, but I'm not gluing it down yet. So I think I'm going to put my beak like right here. I'm just going to place everything. And then my gobble is going to go underneath, okay? Again, I haven't glued anything down yet. And then I'm going to do my eyeballs. And I'm going to have my eyes overlap a little bit. I think that's how I'm going to do mine. Okay, now that I am happy with where that is, I'm going to glue it down. And why I didn't glue it down before as I was going was because you guys can see some of my stuff is under other pieces, so I want to make sure I'm gluing the right things down in the right order. So what I'm going to do is this one is under this. So I'm gonna lift this up and I'm going to just, you can see I'm holding it because all I'm gonna do is actually open my glue stick first. And I'm going to just flip this up. Put glue on it and then press that. Okay. Now I'm gonna double check that that's where I want my beak. And your beak could go straight, it can go sideways. I'm gonna make mine go sideways a little bit, I think. So I'm gonna put glue on this. I'm not covering the whole thing because part of my beak is gonna hang off. So I don't want it to have glue everywhere. So I'm gonna open it just to press it down. Okay. So far that's what I have. It's glued down. My next step is going to be my eyes. However, before I glue my eyes, I do want to do I'm gonna make little black pupils in my eyes. So all I do, and again, if you don't have a Sharpie, you can use something. It doesn't even have to be black. Mine, I'm gonna do black. I'm gonna do a circle. And just color it in. And I didn't do mine in the middle. You can do yours in the middle. You can do it sideways. You can do it however you want. Up to you. So there's one. I'm trying to think of how I wanted them. So when you're putting your eyeballs too, here's something. You can also change how your turkey looks if you turn where the little pupil is. So it will change how your turkey's face looks. And that is up to you how you would like your turkey to look. Again, it is your turkey. You can make that choice. Okay, so here is the little adorable, so cute, turkey head. Next, we have to do our feathers and then put it onto our headbands. So feathers, it's going to be the same exact thing that we did kind of with this. I'm going to set it up and decide. I'm going to put my scissors away because I no longer need that. I'm going to decide how I want my feathers to look. You could have your feathers, again, you may have 2 feathers, you may have 3 feathers, you may have 4, 5, 6, 7. It is up to you. You could have 1 feather. I don't know. It's your turkey. You do what you want to do. I think I'm going to put that one there. I'm deciding, and again, it will also look different where you put your feathers. It's going to make your turkey look different, so your choice, guys. I think I like it like that. I think I'm going to spread them out a little bit. I don't think I'm going to use my red feather. So I know I want my yellow feather to be the top one, so I'm actually going to glue that one down first. So I'm gonna put glue like this, and I'm gonna glue it about 3/4 the way down my turkey head. See, so I have like about that much. Okay. All right. So my very last step is I'm gonna grab remember our giant strip we made? Okay, so I'm gonna grab this and I'm going to give my turkey carefully. Okay. Flip him back over. I'm gonna kind of find where the middle is. Put that right there. And I'm going to put a big old glob of glue. If you have white glue, you can just do dot dot. Okay, now I'm gonna flip my turkey over and press them down. Da, da, da. Okay. So now, are you ready? Look at this. We have awesome turkey headbands. Okay, get ready. I'm going to show you how we can make sure it fits us. So press it down for another minute or 2, and then the next part, you're going to probably want someone to help you. It's usually easier if someone can help you do it, but you can do it on your own. Just make sure you're patient. Very last step of our adorable little turkey headband is we need to actually make it fit our head. So like I said, it is easier if you have someone else with you to help you because it will fit a little bit better. I will show you how to do it without someone. You are going to probably want to use tape or a stapler. Either one works. So I'm actually going to, because I'm by myself, I'm just going to get a little piece of tape ready. I'm putting it right there so I have it. So what you're going to do is, we usually want our turkey to be in the middle of our head. It's going to be hard with my bangs today. So I'm going to push them back. And what you're going to do is you want to hold up where you want it to be, okay? And then you're going to kind of wrap around the back. And it should overlap. So mine, I think I want it like right there. I have a ponytail too, it makes it even harder. And I'm going to take that piece of tape and I'm going to put it right there, just so that stays, because again, it's just me. If you have someone else, the easiest way to do it is you have them wrap it around and then they can staple it. Okay, so I put another piece of tape on the inside, just so that part didn't fall. Then I should be able to put my turkey headband on. He's so cute, isn't he? Love it. All right, I hope you guys had an awesome time making this. You can even add more details if you want. You can even write things that you're thankful for on the side if you really want. It's a fun activity to do. We've done that before. All around things that you're thankful for this year. Thank you for making a turkey headband with me. Don't forget to follow along and join me as we make some other fun things in the future.